Hey folks, Matt Kuda here for another Lightroom Editing Series video. This time we're going to be looking at the amazing Sharpen AI from Topaz Labs. I'm going to start out here with this image of a tricolored heron, and you will notice that what we have here is blur from motion. Now, actually, this was not from using the shutter speed's pretty low at 1/400th of a second, so we're getting some blur here. There was some action going on, and I just forgot to set my shutter speed up higher, so it is what it is. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually invoke the plugin directly from Lightroom for Topaz Sharpen AI. If you do not have Sharpen AI installed, go ahead and do that. It's a free download. The trial is absolutely free. It works, and you can see exactly what it does. I'm not getting paid by them. They don't endorse me in any way. So what I want to do here is I want to get my image, right click. I want to say edit in Topaz Sharpen AI. Yep, I want to edit. And wait for that to come up here. Okay, so what happens is it comes up here, it defaults to just the standard preview. I've got remove blur up pretty high here. So let's take it down lower, and I'll kind of show you what it kind of looks like out of the box. This is kind of how it comes out of the box. It's set to autofocus. Let's just see what that looks like. Okay, so out of the box, I've just kind of kept some basic settings here. I've got it set to autofocus. As you can see, it's still quite blurry. It didn't really take care of it. That's because there are three settings up here on the top right side of this. There is a motion blur setting, which is kind of what we're going to be using. There's an autofocus setting, and there's a too soft setting. I haven't had a lot of luck with too soft. Autofocus works, but in this case, we've got true motion blur. So I need to set this to motion blur. Okay, and I am going to crank up the remove blur to about 50, suppress noise to about 40, and let's just see what this does. Okay, so that has updated now, and as we can see, it is sharp. It is now sharp. The whole image is sharp. How in the world does it do it? I don't know. It's a complicated algorithm behind the scenes that is actually fixing this image, and it is astounding. It probably is kind of my guess is it's kind of looking at how it's blurred, and it says, oh, well, we can see the direction of the blur, so therefore all we have to do is move pixels here, move pixels there in that direction, remove a lot of the blurred pixels, fill in with non-blurred pixels, and I mean, it's something like that. It's a layman's explanation, but it's something like that. I wanted to show you a couple more things. There are several options over here. One is normal, one is very noisy, and one is very blurry. Obviously, if your image is extremely blurry, you're going to want to use very blurry. Now, this is an awesome program, but it's not going to make everything perfect. Okay, it's just not going to. Now, one of the things I want to show you, and it's a better way to handle an image like this, is to use the masking tool. So that's what I'm going to show next, because I want to show you something. If you look up here in this top corner, you'll see some artifacts and strange stuff going on. Well, we don't really care about that, right? We can fix that later in DENoise AI. Let's not have that in here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to cancel. No, I don't need to cancel. I'm going to click the mask, okay, And I'm going to actually fill in here with this mask. What in the world? I'm going to fill in here with this mask. I don't know what that was all about, but all the spots that I want this thing to fix. Okay? And you just, I don't know why. What is wrong with this thing? I've never had it act this weird before. Okay. So it's filling in now where I want it to fill in. Okay, and it's going to take this bird, and instead of trying to do the whole background and fix that, we don't care about the background. The background's blurry, that's good, right? So let's just concentrate on the subject. So we just put this all over the subject. The problem is, of course, that I do not have the whole object here. So, and I don't think it's going to let me. Okay, let's zoom out here to 100%. No, we're already at 100%. Let's zoom out to 50. And let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm painting everywhere that I want this mask to go. Everything within the red will be fixed for blurriness. And it doesn't have to be super perfect because we're just doing sharpening. We're not doing any kind of like background removal or anything like that. So it doesn't have to be super perfect. I mean, obviously you want to try to keep it in the lines as, you know, reasonably well. Okay, let's get up here on the neck. Takes a little bit longer this way, but it's a much more rewarding experience in general. I think you'll agree. All right. And we're going to fill in up here. Let's just do this whole tip right here. And we're going to apply the mask. We should be looking good now. And we'll let this process and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, so I actually applied that now, and we're gonna render that back into a TIFF and then look at it back in Lightroom here in just a second, and we're gonna see the final results. Okay, and through the magic of video editing, we are back here in Lightroom, and it's fully rendered, and that is what it looks like. Still could use maybe a little bit of sharpening, just general sharpening, but very, very good. The background still needs to have some noise reduction done, but you know, as you can see, we were able to save this image, and it truly is saved. Now, one thing to note is that it takes a long time to render these sometimes because of the way the de-blur, I guess, algorithm works. So you may run into some issues with just having to wait and wait and wait. That's normal. Don't worry about it. It will happen. But look how good of a job it really did there. You know, yeah, I mean, we could come in here and we could click on our adjustment brush here, and we could kind of finish this one up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and put some texture and clarity and just put that right here in the eye area, and that fixed that perfectly. You know, the overall image, of course, you're going to want to add your contrast. You're going to want to fix your black and white points. I've talked about this in other videos. Go ahead and check those out when you get a chance. The basic wildlife and advanced wildlife editing. You're going to want to set those white points. And let's set the black point. Exposure is pretty much on the money. And we are done and done, folks. We took an image. Let's go ahead and look at the side-by-side. Side-by-side on these. Deselect. There we go. Is this the right ones? Okay. So now I've got the after and then the before. Sorry. So the before is over here. And as you can see, it's very, very... the before is actually on the right. I'm sorry. But as you can see, we've got very blurry camera shake type stuff going on here. And then the after shot over here, we've got just perfect. I mean, you just can't ask for anything better. It's some of the best money, and I truly believe this, it's some of the best money that I have spent on tools for development of my images. And I really, really encourage you to go buy it. It's an amazing product at a reasonable price for what it does. Go ahead and check them out. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate the views. I'm trying to get to 1,000. Would love it if you would sub for me. So thanks for listening or watching, actually. Make it a great day and get out there and enjoy nature. Bye-bye.